Hello and welcome to Bruce Coville. Welcome, Bruce.
Oh, good to see you. It's been
Well,
too
we are
long.
I know, right? We are so excited to be talking about Nothing But the Truth, which is a new full cast audio production. So tell us about how this project came to be, because this is a book that is taught in so many schools.
Mm. Well, it was a natural for full cast audio because it's a documentary novel told in letters and articles and conversations. So it really demanded multiple voices, which is the kind of thing that we were made to do. And even though the book is older, it is so apt for the moment. Other than the fact that it doesn't have cell phones, it could have been written yesterday. And unfortunately, probably will still be relevant tomorrow because it talks about dysfunctional ways of communication in our society and the way that small things can be blown all out of proportion when the media get hold of them.
Yes, that is more relevant today than it was even then in some ways. So this seems to be gaining in applicability to today's life.
I've said about some of my own books that when you write social criticism, part of you wants a book to live forever, but part of you wants it to become irrelevant.
Oh, yeah.
In this case, this book, this is 25 years or so old, is exactly as you said, it is more relevant than ever, sadly.
Yeah, I know. And how did Avi respond when how did this project come to be? Because as you said, this is an older book.
Yeah. I started the work on this so long ago, I'm actually not sure whether Avi suggested it or I went to him about it. It was a very hard project to put together because of the number of moving pieces. Yeah. And I finally got somebody who was able to do all the organizational work of contacting because we had so many actors for it. And we had to find a really strong young actor to carry the main thread of the narration as Philip. We got a great kid for that. So it was done, we used to always bring everybody in the studio at the same time. But of course, that wasn't appropriate during the age of COVID. So we had lots and lots of studio sessions with just one or two people there standing at separate microphones. We drew on a lot of our great full cast family actors, and then brought in some new people who'd never been with us before. Which is always fun to get new voices into. So Avi loves audio and radio theater. And he used to run a thing called Authors Readers Theater, where four writers, him included, and there was a varying cast of the other three, but it was often Richard Peck and Sarah Weeks and me, would go to a reading conference and do multi-voice readings of our own work that we scripted more. So he knew about my full cast audio, and I was getting more and more familiar with his work. So it made sense for both of us to do this. As I said, I can't remember whose idea it was, but it was a darn good idea.
Well, it seems like it was a real organic thing. It just kind of grew out of your own shared experiences. So this might be a good time to remind people a little bit about what this book is really about.
Well, young Philip is having a conflict with his homeroom teacher, and he's being a bit of a pill, but not too awful yet. And he insists on humming along to the national anthem. And the teacher has said that the school rule is absolute silence while the anthem is played. And he's violating that rule, and she's very strict about this. And he keeps insisting that he's going to hum along. And then he goes home and says, I got sent to the principal because I was singing along, which he wasn't doing. But that's the first bit of misinformation. Then this hits the school, and it gets the local paper, and then national news picks it up, and a right-wing newscaster really goes to town on this sort of a Rush Limbaugh type, blows it into a big national scandal. And meanwhile, the poor teacher, who's very well-meaning, is being crushed under the weight of all this misinformation. And Phil, the kid, is also getting crushed under what's going on. It's a really microscopic analysis, well, micro and macro, of the way things blow up and get out of control and are misunderstood, and misunderstandings are communicated for more misunderstanding, and the way that school boards or principals or superintendents can sometimes cave under pressure and do what's not best, but what's easiest. It is really an analysis of things going wrong. And Avi has told me that he's been in many schools where they said, did somebody tell you about what had happened here last year or the year before or 3 years ago? So this really rings true to teachers who've seen this kind of thing happen. And numerous people thought that somehow he found out what had gone on in their school and spun it to out of that.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, how would you suggest teachers use the full cast audio production in the classroom?
Oh, well, there's a number of ways you could use it. One would be for modeling, because the book would work very well for classroom presentation with multiple students reading out loud. And so there's some good modeling here for performance, for how to interact with it, because there are these dialogues that are in the book also.
Right.
But also an analysis. Can you think of anything that might have happened like that this year, relating to real life experiences that they've seen, things that have happened in their school? It is in some ways a novel-length version of the old telephone game where you whisper in somebody's ear and you go around the room and see how much it changes by the time you get to the other end, or the chain of 10. So that would be one way to use it, and just demonstrate, here's how it happens. And look how devastating it could be.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, I know there are so many guides to how to use this book in the classroom, but it just seems like what a wonderful opportunity to have the audio. And as you say, use it as a model, or even playing it in the classroom, just so that, people can have a different experience. And it also, the audio experience, it can build fluency and has so many benefits.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is, it's so lively because of this rich medley of voices that it really brings it to life in a great way. It's a recording we're very proud of. And also very glad about, because as I said, it took a long time to put it together. It was a massive organization. We had to have a battle plan to get everybody in and get everything put together.
And I love that you use, and you use age appropriate actors, which is kind of a hallmark of full cast audio productions. So
it was something we decided early on that just was the way to go. And the only problem I have with that is my young actors, we get them all trained and then they grow up and go off to college.
The nerve.
I know, the nerve, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk with us about Nothing But the Truth, a new full cast audio production. And I can't wait to see what you all come out with next.
Oh, well, we're working on some other things right now, and that's nothing but the truth.
All right. Thanks so much.